Hello everyone. So today let's study about ecology of individuals. So ecology, it is a branch of biology that examines the interaction between organisms and their environment, enclosing both physical and biotic environment. It investigates how living organisms like plants, animal, microorganisms interact with each other and with their non-living environment like climate, soil, water, air. Physical environment or abiotic factors includes climate, soil, water, and other non-living components that influence the living organisms. Whereas biotic factors or biotic environment includes interactions with other living organisms such as predation, competition, symbiosis, and cooperation. Now, the German ecologist Ernest Haeckel introduced the term ecology in 1866. He defined it as the study of relationships between the organisms and their environment. Now, this word ecology comes from the Greek words oikos and logos. Oikos means house, habitat, or place of living, indicating the environment where organisms live. Logos means study or science, referring to the systematic study of these relationships. Levels of organization. Now, this image illustrates the hierarchical levels of organization in ecology, which are used to study how organisms interact with each other and their physical environments. So, first is individual. This is a single organism, such as one elk shown in the image. It represents the most basic level of organization. Then is population, a group of individuals of the same species living in a particular area, like the herd of elk. Populations are studied to understand factors that affect their size and distribution. Community, different populations of various species living and interacting in a specific area. In the image, this includes elk, bears, birds, and other animals. Communities focus on interactions between species such as predation, competition, and symbiosis. Ecosystem, a community of living organisms interacting with their physical environment such as soil, water, climate. The image shows an ecosystem with various animals, plants, and the physical environment they inhabit. Biome, large geographical areas with similar climates and ecosystems such as forests, deserts, grasslands. Now in the image you can see it represents a forest biome characterized by its distinct climate and types of vegetation and animals. Biosphere, the global sum of all the ecosystems, enclosing all the living beings and their relationships, including their interactions with the elements of atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere. Now you can see each level builds upon the previous one, creating a complex network of interactions and dependencies that ecologists study to understand life on Earth. So first is individual. Now individual, it is the most fundamental unit in ecology, referring to a single living entity such as a plant, insect, or bird. At this level, ecology examines how an individual organism interacts with its environment, focusing on its survival and reproduction. Individual organisms can impact their environment through their activities, and the environment affect individual organisms by providing resources like food, shelter, and challenges like predators and climatic conditions. Organism ecology concentrates on the individual organism's behavior, like studies how individual organisms behave in response to their environment. This includes feeding habits, mating rituals, and territorial behaviors. Physiology examines the physiological processes and adaptations that enable organisms to survive and thrive in their environments. This includes studying how organisms regulate body temperature, process nutrients, and respond to stress. Morphology looks at the physical form and structure of organisms and how these characteristics help them interact with their environment. For example, the shape of a bird's beak can determine its ability to access different food sources. Population. It is a group of individuals of the same species that occupy a given area. For example, all the neem trees in a forest or all the deer in a valley constitute a population. The population ecology, it focuses on understanding the dynamics of populations and the factors that influence their size, structure, and distribution. Like key concepts in population ecology includes population growth. In that you will study about growth rate, like rate at which a population increases or decreases in size. This can be influenced by birth rate, death rate, immigration and immigration. Exponential growth. When resources are abundant, populations can grow exponentially, meaning they increase at a constant rate per time period. Then logistic growth. As the resources become limited, population growth slows and eventually stabilizes, forming an S-shaped curve. Then how population changes over the time. This may be due to demographic factors, age structure, sex ratio, reproductive rates. Then environmental factors, availability of resources, predation, disease, and competition. Then there are various density dependent factors as well as density independent factors. So next level is community. Population of different species in an area, they do not function independently of each other, they interact with each other. Like how they interact with each other, like there is competition when different species compete for the same resources, for example food, space. It can affect their growth and survival. Predation. Predators feed on prey species, influencing their population sizes and dynamics. Then mutualism is there, parasitism is there, disease is there. So the next more complex level of organization of the interacting population of different species form is the community. A community in an ecology, it refers to the assembly of interacting populations of different species living within a defined geographical area. These populations do not exist in isolation but interact with one another in various ways, such as through competition, predation, mutualism, and other ecological relationships. Now, community ecology, it deals with the composition and organization of ecological communities and community development. Now, composition and organization, it involves species composition, means variety and abundance of species within a community. It also includes trophic structure. This describes the feeding relationships within a community forming a food web. Then community development includes primary succession and secondary succession. Primary succession, it occurs in lifeless areas where there was no previous soil formation, such as after a volcanic eruption or glacial retreat. Then secondary succession, it occurs in areas where community has been disturbed but soil remains, such as after a fire, flood, or human activities. It involves re-establishment of a community progressing through stages until reaching a stable climax community. Ecosystem. Now, it is composed of all the living organisms in an area along with the non-living components that interact with them. These interactions form a system through which energy flows and nutrients cycle, supporting the structure and functions of the ecosystem. So ecosystem ecology, it deals with the flow of energy and cycling of nutrients among organisms within a community and between organisms and the environment. So energy flow, it includes like energy enters the ecosystem through sunlight, captured by producers through photosynthesis, and is transferred through the food web via consumption of organisms. Energy flows from producers to consumers and decomposers, with some energy lost as heat at each trophic level. Then cycling of nutrients, essential nutrients like carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, this cycle between the biotic and abiotic components of the ecosystem. These cycles involve processes such as photosynthesis, respiration, decomposition, and nutrient uptake by plants. So the ecosystem has two components, abiotic components and biotic components. So all the non-living factors or the physical environment is covered under the abiotic components, and biotic components includes the plants, animals and microorganisms that are present in the ecosystem. So this is the representation of the structure of ecosystem. So you can see abiotic and biotic components. Abiotic components include climatic and edaphic. So climatic components further includes rain, light, wind, temperature. Then edaphic components includes the factors related to the soil, like soil pH, soil topography, soil minerals, etc. Then biotic components includes producers, consumers, decomposers. These consumers are further categorized as primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and quaternary consumers. So this is the illustration of types of ecosystem. So natural ecosystem further is divided into terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem. So terrestrial is the land-based ecosystem like grassland, forest, desert, and then water-based ecosystem includes the marine ecosystem, includes oceans, then freshwater system includes lakes. Then second is artificial or man-made ecosystem. The examples are aquarium and crop fields. Biome. Now, it is a large and distinct ecological community which is defined by its unique climate, flora, fauna. Biomes are characterized by their specific vegetation types and the adaptations of their plant and animal species to the regional climatic conditions. Example of biomes include tropical rainforest, coniferous forests, savannas, deserts, and tundras. Like for example, let's consider the case of vegetation. So types of plants, the dominant plant species in a biome are adapted to the specific climate conditions. For example, cactus in deserts, conifers in boreal forest, broadleaf evergreens in tropical rainforest. And the physical structure of the vegetation, such as forests with multiple canopy layers or grasslands with open treeless expanses. Then biomes are spread over wide geographical areas, often spanning multiple continents. For example, tropical rainforests are found in South America, Africa, Southeast Asia. Then plant adaptations. Plants in each biome have unique adaptations to survive and thrive in their specific environment. For example, desert plants may have thick water storing leaves, while the plants in tropical rainforest may have large broadleaves to capture sunlight in dense canopies. Animal adaptations. Animals also adapt to the climate and vegetative conditions. For examples, animals in cold biomes like the tundra, they have thick fur or blubber for insulation, while those in deserts may be nocturnal to avoid daytime heat conditions. Now, this image depicts a conceptual model of different biomes arranged along gradients of temperature and dryness. It is structured as a pyramid where biomes are distributed based on their climatic conditions, specifically temperature and moisture levels. The pyramid illustrates that as you move from the top to the bottom, that is from Arctic regions to the tropical regions, the temperature is increasing. And as you move from the left side to the right side, means as you move from the forested areas to the deserts, the dryness increases. So this picture helps visualize how different biomes are distributed globally based on climatic factors, particularly temperature and moisture. Like from the vertical gradient, temperature as per temperature, how it is distributed. On the top, you can find Arctic regions like tundra. Tundra is characterized by extremely low temperatures, short growing seasons, and limited vegetation. Then subarctic regions where you will find boreal forest. Then temperate regions, there you will find temperate forest, grassland, chaparrals. Then tropical forest, tropical regions, you will find tropical forest and grassland. So the thing is that these are biomes are characterized by their specific vegetation types, and their distribution is also as such according to the specific climatic conditions. Biosphere. It is the global sum of all the ecosystems and living organisms on Earth, including all the forms of life and their interactions with the environment. It includes the atmosphere, terrestrial environments, and marine environments, and extends to include both living organisms and the organic matter derived from them. Like terrestrial biosphere includes all the land-based ecosystems such as forests, grasslands, deserts. It encompasses the plants, animals, fungi, microorganisms living on land. Then marine biosphere, it covers all the oceanic and coastal ecosystems, including coral reefs, mangroves, open ocean environments. It includes marine plants like seaweeds, animals like fish, whales, and microorganisms like plankton. Then atmospheric component includes the atmosphere in which organisms live, particularly the lower layers where most life supporting processes occur. Then litter, it refers to dead plant material such as leaves, branches, fallen trees, which contribute to soil formation and nutrient cycling. Soil organic matter, it includes decomposed plant and animal material in the soil, which is crucial for soil fertility and ecosystem health. Oceanic detritus, it consists of dead organic material and waste products found in marine environments, including dead plankton, fish, and other marine organisms. The biosphere plays a key role in recycling essential nutrients such as carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus through processes like decomposition, respiration, photosynthesis, and this cycling maintains the balance of these elements in the environment.